Hey everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to the final day of my 25 Days of Craftmas series. During this series, I've shown you how to make these 25 different Christmas projects using your Cricut. And I've also shared the SVG files I've used to make the projects for free, so you can make them too. It's day 25 and today I'm showing you how to make this wooden Christmas village. This cute village stands on its own, so it's great for tables, shelves, and mantles. I love the look of the natural wood with the white vinyl lettering. This project is unique and original, and I just love the way it turned out. I'm excited to show you how to make your own. So let's go take a look at the supply list and get started. For this project, you'll need wood for the houses, and I used a 1x3, a 1x4, and a 1x6" piece of pine. You'll need some white adhesive vinyl, cardstock, transfer tape, your weeding tool and scraper, sandpaper, staining supplies, a polyurethane finish, and I used triple thick polyurethane in satin, wood glue, and of course, your Cricut, a cutting mat, and the cut file. So grab your supplies and head over to your computer. The first thing we need to do is grab the SVG file we'll be using for this project. You can get it for free on my blog at burtonavenue.com. I keep all the SVG files for the projects I make and share in my free SVG library. These files will work with all kinds of cutting machines and they're free to everyone. Once you're on my site, just click on Free SVG Files and then Free SVG Library. You will need a password to get into the library, and there are instructions on the screen if you need to get one. For this project, we'll be using the cut file called Home for the Holidays, BA1823. To find it, you can either click on Craftmas 2021 and go to day 25, or you can use your browser search and just type in 1823. Once you've found that file, go ahead and click on the link, and the files will be downloaded onto your computer. So I'm going to show you how to set up and cut this design in Cricut Design Space. If you're not sure how to unzip and import designs into Cricut Design Space, be sure to check out my step-by-step tutorial. So this is what the design will look like when you first import it onto your Canvas screen. So now we need to resize everything so that it will work for this project. But right now you'll notice everything is grouped together and we need to separate all these different houses so we can resize them. So you'll just right click and choose ungroup. And now that will break apart all these different houses. So the next thing we need to do is resize everything so that it will work with the wood that we're going to be using. So we'll be using a 1x6 for these two houses. For this little skinny house, we'll be using a 1x3. And then these two houses over here will be using a 1x4. So now we just need to resize all these different pieces so they'll fit on our wood. Now, even though it's called a 1x3 or a 1x4 or a 1x6, that's not actually the dimensions. Because wood shrinks, everyone's wood is going to be a little bit different. And you're going to have to measure the wood you're using to know what dimensions to resize these houses to. So like I mentioned, these two houses right here, I'm going to be using a 1x4, but my piece of wood actually measures about 3.4 inches across. So that is what I'm going to resize this to. And you'll want to make sure that you've selected both the background and the outline when you're resizing. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to change the width to 3.4 inches. So now that house is resized. I'm going to do the same for this one. So 3.4 inches. And next I'll do this one, and this is going on a 1x3, and mine measures 2.5 inches across. So now that one's done, and then these last two houses are going to be going on a 1x6, and mine measures about 5.5 inches across. So there's that one, and then I'll do this one. So now all these houses are sized so that they'll fit on our wood pieces. And that's actually the only thing that we need to do on this canvas screen. So we're going to click on the green Make It button. And then you'll be taken to this screen. And on this screen, Cricut is just going to show us how it is breaking apart our design onto different cutting mats. So these first two mats will be cutting out of some white adhesive vinyl. And then these last three mats, we're going to just cut out of some cheap cardstock. Now, because everyone's sizes might be a little bit different, your layout might look different than mine does. So the only thing I'm going to do on this screen is just scoot these houses a little bit apart so I have some space between them when I cut them apart. Once everything looks good on this screen, you can click on the green Continue button. Make sure that your Cricut is turned on, and once Design Space finds it, you'll be taken to this screen. Make sure that your dial is set to vinyl, and then you can go load your cutting mat. So you're going to place a piece of white vinyl on your cutting mat and smooth it down so there aren't any wrinkles or bubbles. Then load it into your Cricut by pressing the up and down arrow button. When your Cricut is ready to cut, you'll see the C button light up. Press that and the machine will begin cutting. When everything has been cut, you can press the up and down arrow button again to unload your mat. So most likely you'll need to cut 2 sheets of white vinyl. Once you're done cutting the vinyl, you can place a piece of cardstock onto your cutting mat. Load that into your Cricut and then turn your dial to cardstock. Then you can press the C button to start cutting that out. When you remove the cardstock from the cutting mat, you'll want to kind of bend the mat and pull the cardstock away, and this should keep the cardstock from bending. Grab your white vinyl and trim off any unused portion. Then weed away the excess from around your design. You can use a weeding tool to help you pull out any of the pieces inside of the houses or the letters. Next, place a piece of transfer tape sticky side up on your work surface, and then place your vinyl on top of that. Rub over everything firmly with your scraper, and then trim off the excess vinyl backing and transfer tape. And you can also cut apart all the different houses. Now that our vinyl is ready to go, let's go work on the wood pieces. Grab your cardstock pieces and place them on the wood that is the same size. Trace the shapes of the roofs of the houses onto your wood pieces, and then cut out the wood. I used a jigsaw, but you could also use a handsaw. I am not great with a jigsaw, and my cuts aren't totally straight, and that's okay. So if yours aren't perfect, don't worry. Just do your best to cut on the lines. Once you finish cutting out all the shapes, you can sand the wood so it's nice and smooth. Next, we're going to stain the houses. You can use any color you want, and I used golden pecan. I like to use a foam brush to apply the stain. For this project, I applied the stain and let it sit on the houses for just a minute or so before I wiped it off. If you'd like a darker color, you can let the stain sit longer before you wipe it off. I stained the fronts, sides, and backs of all of the houses. Once you're finished, let the stain dry for several hours. Next, you'll want to apply a polyurethane finish. You can either brush on a finish or spray. I used the spray triple thick polyurethane in satin. Once you've got the finish on, you'll need to let that dry for a couple of hours. If the surface of your wood doesn't feel smooth, you can lightly sand the wood to even it out. Next, we're going to apply the vinyl to the houses. Line up your houses and put the corresponding design on top of each house. Then grab one of your designs and pull off the vinyl backing. Position the design on your wood. The designs themselves aren't perfectly straight, and that's to help hide cuts that aren't perfectly even. So just do your best to make the design straight and centered. Then rub over the vinyl with the scraper and carefully pull off the transfer tape. Add the vinyl designs to all the other houses. Next, we're going to assemble the houses. To make assembly easier, you'll want to use a few wood scraps to raise up the first, middle, and last house. The houses need to overlap each other by about 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch. When you're happy with the spacing, you can glue the pieces together. I pushed a long piece of wood up against the bottom of the houses to make sure the bottom edges were all lined up. Once you've got everything lined up, wipe away any excess glue and then let the glue dry completely. And this will probably take a couple of hours. Once the glue is dried, you can stand up the houses. And that's it. This project is finished, and I just love how it turned out. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more projects you can make with your Cricut, Be sure to subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell so you'll get notified each time I post something new.